you on live when they put you on live?
Are we going live soon?
We're going live like now.
Just put us on.
Yeah, just hit live.
Put me on, bro.
Put me on, bro.
Put me on, bro.
Do you want, Daniel, do you want me to do the introduction and then we'll get to segments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, yeah. You guys are live.
We're live?
We're live, y'all.
We are live.
On that or on that? Oh, we're live on everything. We're live on everything.
We're live on that.
Welcome into
Double live.
1-0 Sports, TSTV Sports live stream.
I'm gonna snap off
Blending
this.
both. This is the merger of TSTV Sports and 1-0 Sports.
Yeah.
I am the founder and editor of 1-0 Sports, Thomas Fitch.
Let's go.
And I'm joined alongside some 1-0 members. We have Daniel Shih, host of Rants with Daniel Shih.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it, Daniel.
I'll clap for Daniel.
Love it.
We have Turner Barnes, host of Casual Friday.
Woo. Let's go.
We have Robert Trevino, host of Not Hot Coffee.
Yeah.
Or Hot Coffee.
Cold
Coffee. At Not Hot Coffee. That's
my Twitter. Yes.
That's the Twitter. So that's where I'm getting it from, and we're just gonna be talking all sorts of sports. You get to hear. I mean, this is like a panel.
Yeah,
This is like a panel of our finest podcasts. So sorry, Emily and Danny out there. I don't think Whistle and Wine has ever gotten started.
To come on, but nobody told her.
Wow, I look incredibly red on the live stream. All right, so
somebody sent her a message on YouTube.
All right, so
she can show up.
Yeah,
I guess.
Daniel, who are we getting started with?
Let's start with you, man.
Starting with me?
The founder, man.
The founder.
We're not going to start with the
Yeah, we
founder.
gotta start strong.
All right, so we could start off with. It is Masters Friday.
It is. Yeah.
Yesterday was incredible. The leaderboard right now may be the best leaderboard we have seen in a long time.
Okay.
You look at the names on top. Poulter Molinari, kind of big name. Day, Mickelson, Koepka, Kuchar, Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, who's choking now.
Nice.
Tiger Woods is back there. He hasn't even teed off today.
Nice.
The only big name, Rory's kind of out of it, but Woods, like I said, Fowler, 2 under, Lucas Bjerregaard, TSTV 1-0 Sports' official golfer. We are a Lucas Bjerregaard website. The Thomas Fitch Show is the premier Lucas Bjerregaard podcast. He's 1 under through 5, but he'll be back up there. But an incredible leaderboard. Who are y'all liking so far in this tournament?
Francesco Molinari.
Molinari?
I picked him before.
Wow.
And he was 2 under yesterday, so I was kind of like, okay, he has a fighting chance, but he's 4 under right now, so he's tied with Poulter for the lead at 6 under, which I think is pretty crazy. I don't think Poulter has a chance, if we're being honest.
No, I think Poulter's one of those guys that likes to start off.
Yeah.
He'll have a lot of good starts, and then come Saturday, come moving day, he's moving down.
You know who I'd love to see though is Phil.
Oh, Phil up there at 5 under is incredible.
Yeah, Phil at Augusta. I feel like that hasn't happened in a while.
And Tiger hasn't teed off. The conditions of this course are playing well. If Tiger can get up there, we can get a Phil Tiger pairing on Saturday or Sunday.
That'd be cool.
Ooh. That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
I'm just gonna sit here and
Hey,
pretend I know what I'm
better.
talking about. To be very honest, I'm just going, that's cool. Phil, go Phil.
Yeah, just wait
Go
for me
Jordan.
when we start talking about NHL and MLB.
Yeah.
I know. I tried to throw y'all off because I saw some ones that were gonna throw me off.
So Tiger, been talking about him. 2 under, hasn't started.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about him so far? I'm excited about him.
Yeah.
Me and Robert talked about him yesterday, and we talked about the Masters. But it's incredible for the game of golf whenever he's good. And he hasn't won a major in like 11 years or something crazy like that. Even though you look at his numbers and he has tons of them, but it's been so long.
It has been a while.
And so we kind of talked about like, does his game deteriorate? It doesn't. I mean, it hit rock bottom a while back. But he looks like he's still a very competitive
Oh
player.
yeah,
he's competitive.
So I think maybe there's a little Tiger magic in the air. Maybe he could get one more green jacket.
That'd be awesome. I do agree. I mean, the confidence he has right now, from what he's talking to the media, when he's on the course, I think Jack Nicklaus said he played with Tiger and saw him shoot the easiest 64 he's ever seen anybody shoot last week. So, like, Tiger's feeling it.
Yeah.
And the fact that in 2017 he thought he wasn't ever going to be able to play again.
Yeah.
and now he's out here and
Yeah.
I wouldn't say playing the best golf of his career, but he's playing great.
Yeah. Tiger's got his groove back.
And the fact that like the game has changed. I mean, and part of the reason the game has changed so much is because of him.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who kind of started the whole like hit it deep.
Yeah.
You know, and just go out, crush the ball, be like big into working out.
Yeah.
You know, and you're seeing that with DJ, with Koepka, with all these guys who like to hit it long and who are having success hitting it long.
Yeah.
But he's still being able to keep up with them at 40 whatever he is.
Yeah. And I think this is pretty much as you can be competitive in this
Yeah.
day and age with these type of players. That's what me and Turner talked about too. I just like 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, there's no way that you can be competitive. He could not be Tiger like how he was in the late '90s and 2000.
Right.
And he would have to take it to a level that no one's ever seen.
Right.
Which I mean, he could theoretically do, but I mean, these guys are just so good compared to where they were even just 20 years ago.
Right.
And that's his own making.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because he's the one who inspired these guys to do what he did and get that good, and now he can't be so dominant because of what he created.
Yeah. And I don't think we'll ever see like the Tiger dominance where he's just like just about every tournament he's in, he's either winning or top 10.
Yeah.
Just because you can't expect that. But the way that golf works is you can still win. I mean, Henrik Stenson is always up there, and I think he's probably similar age. I mean, Phil, obviously 5 under, he's still winning tournaments. So him winning a major, nowhere out of the question because it's anybody's game any week, and he has a good enough game all around to do that. The one thing he has to figure out is his putting.
Yeah.
He can't make like 5-footers. And the reason I say especially like specifically 5-footers, he's hitting it to 5 feet every time.
Yeah.
His tee to green
It's so good.
I don't know what the stats are on strokes gained. I really don't quite understand strokes gained, but I know if you have a lot of strokes gained there, it's good.
Yeah.
But it is fairway to like really close to 5-10 feet, and he's missing the putts.
Do you think he has the yips?
I don't think it's the
word.
yips
I don't
as
say
much.
The Y word, but
Yeah, I think someone like Jordan Spieth, he has the yip. Like he's missing like short. Tiger, it's just
he just has
lack of confidence.
Yeah.
He just needs to get some to fall.
Well, I think he could do that at Augusta.
Yeah, if there's
That
any
would be-
course for him to get confidence where he knows
Yeah.
the greens,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that why you see some of these older guys having so much success is because they know it's the same course.
Yeah.
There, no other major is played at the same course every year.
And it's also like a course you can't just go on. I mean, even these guys, I mean,
Yeah.
they can play it once in the spring
Yep.
if they're a champion, and they can play it another time right before the Masters.
Yeah.
Like before you have the practice rounds. But other
Yeah.
than that, you're just not seeing the course at all. Like if you know that a major's going on at like Chambers Bay, you can
Right.
go and just pretty much
You just
any
play
week. You'd be
all the
I'm gonna
time.
play Chambers Bay 5 times.
Yeah.
At Augusta, you get 2 shots
Mhm.
and then a couple practice rounds, and you just have to go with it.
So those young
Yeah.
guys, they can get lucky once or twice, but
Yeah.
they miss hit a shot in one place because they didn't know that there was a
Yeah.
slope there. It's done.
That's like what makes Jordan Spieth's like second Masters or even his first Masters that he appeared in
Mm-hmm.
so impressive.
There's what, tied for second or something like that.
and
Yeah.
he fell apart. And that's the only reason that Bubba won that green jacket
Right.
instead of a playoff.
Yeah.
And then the second one, obviously, he ran away with it.
Oh, Phil just went left. By the way, I'm definitely streaming the Masters.
Yeah.
I said that on my podcast on the Thomas Fitch Show on Wednesday. I had like my phone. I was like, guys, I'm definitely live streaming it. And right now, I'm
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's 1-0 Sports,
You get a lot
baby.
of
That's what
updates.
we're about.
That's what we do.
That's what we're
Just
about.
don't
Phil,
put it
just
on TV where people
just don't.
Yeah, just don't let the camera see it.
can't show
It
you
is
this.
what baffles me about the Masters, and just the way they control their brand. The fact that they are showing like every shot.
Yeah.
And you can watch it. You don't have to sign with the TV broadcaster, whatever. There's no ads.
Yeah.
There's a little ad like at the top right. Sponsored by IBM, sponsored by Mercedes. But they're just doing this for their brand.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
It's always been that way too.
Yeah, the control they have is wild.
Yeah, what, they signed a 1-year contract with
They
CBS every
only
year?
do 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
Because they have that much leverage.
Because, I mean, here's the thing.
Leverage is everything.
If
Yeah.
CBS is like,
Arcanes.
if CBS does anything wrong, fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
Fine.
just goes
Yeah,
somewhere
you
else.
can't.
Somewhere else.
If they say anything about like greens being spray painted, if they
Yeah,
don't,
like-
if they don't call them patrons,
Yeah.
they call them fans instead of patrons.
They're paid.
I don't care if you're Jim Nance
Yeah.
or if you're a little camera guy and you say, "Oh, look at those fans over there." You're done.
Vern Lundquist.
Vern.
You,
Yeah.
You say patrons, Vern.
He
He retired and he's still doing the
He's
Masters.
still doing it, which is incredible. That
I
just
would
shows
too.
how great of
I
a
would
tournament
too.
it is. All right, let's start. Let's get to football.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody watching this, if they're like, first of all, if you're watching this, shout out to like
All of
3
you.
people.
Maybe.
I don't even think I told my parents, so there goes like half our viewers.
We got 1 viewer on Twitter.
We got 1 viewer on
All
Twitter.
right.
Shout
I'll
out
check
to
I'll
you.
check Facebook.
Is that
We're getting to stuff that most people probably care
It's
about.
Robert.
No,
And it's Robert. It probably might be my Twitter.
It stopped. It said we're on replay now.
It says we're on replay.
Yeah.
Did your phone die? Or?
There's a great chance that my phone died.
Ah.
Yeah, I think it has ended. That's okay. We don't need that. Anyways, let's get to football.
Okay.
Yep.
Spring game
Mhm.
this Saturday. I know spring games you can't overreact to them. It's just another practice
Right.
for the team. But we're in Texas, and we love to overreact to spring
Oh,
games.
yeah.
So
Oh,
what are y'all just expecting to see in the spring game, or maybe hoping to see?
I'm more excited about Casey Thompson.
Yeah.
Than Sam. Casey Thompson going from 4th quarterback to jumping all the way to number 2
Yeah.
with Shane Buechele leaving and Cameron Rising going to Utah. I don't know. I just want to see him making passes. Maybe is he good at rushing? I think he rushed a few.
He
times
is.
last
He's a more
year.
mobile quarterback.
Yeah. So
He's got some speed.
So it's just one. I just want to have a confidence in a backup quarterback. Obviously, you won't have the same confidence in Casey Thompson as Shane Buechele.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's not a shot on Casey Thompson, but we still never seen him take any snaps in the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the spring game's definitely going to be bigger for him. Like Sam in the past, the spring game was big for him because it's like, okay, get some like game reps. Now it's like he's gotten game reps. If anything, we're going to be more reserved because A, you don't want him to get hurt even though you're not tackling the quarterback, and B, you don't really want to show off too much.
right.
And so Sam, I think when Sam's in there, it's going to be really basic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what team Jordan Whittington's on. I'm sure they'll try to just play around with him because that's what they've been trying to do. But what about y'all? What are y'all looking forward to seeing?
Well, I want to see a little bit of the transfers. I obviously want to see Brew for sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
also I want to see
Transfer.
Yeah.
Transfer.
But I do.
In the most technical sense.
Yeah. The most the thing I want to see the most is probably the second stringers moving up. I feel like on defense, Texas. We talked about this also.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, and I feel like the guys who were coming up now to see who's going to be the next, who's going to be the guys to fill out that starting roster, who might not necessarily be like the Caden Stearns of the team, but they're definitely going to be up there in the starting lineup. I want to see if Texas's defense, I feel like that's going to be the key for this next year making a title run, is if that defense is for real or not. That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Turner?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the roster here, and the linebacker position has been such a strong suit for the Texas defense in the past few years. And you look around, Jeffrey McCulloch is a solid player. You think, DeGabriel Floyd, but he's not going to play. He may not ever play football again.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. And you feel for the guy, but who else do you have? DeMarco Boyd. I had a class with him. He's a nice guy. I don't know. We haven't seen him on the football field though.
No.
Adioye, or however you say it. Adioye.
Adeli Adioye?
Yeah, Adioye or something like that.
Something like that. But yeah.
He played a little bit.
Ayodele, I think.
He played a little bit. He was all right.
Ayodele.
Osai was good. But you don't have the Malik Jefferson or the Gary Johnson.
Yeah. Well, okay, you do have Caleb Johnson.
Okay.
He was the
Oh yeah,
JUCO.
he did play
the JUCO
really good,
guy,
yeah.
and so that's kind of
That's
people are saying he.
I forgot about that.
Not at the where Gary Johnson was last year, but is further along than where Gary Johnson was when he came,
Gotcha.
Right.
and has a lot of speed. Is what I've heard about him.
That's encouraging. But I just want to see how the linebacker group plays and if they play quick, because that's one thing that made Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson had ridiculous speed.
Yeah.
But he also had really good instincts.
Mm-hmm.
And paired with incredible speed, that's how you saw him play so well. And Anthony Wheeler, he didn't have as much speed, but he did also have good instincts.
Yeah.
And so that's why you saw him being able to keep up. But I just want to see if these guys have good instincts, if they can flow well, if they can scrape over the top, get their fits right. Because, I mean, if the way the defense is made, the defensive linemen fill the holes that you don't want them to run in, and then one linebacker is going to make the guy run to the other linebacker,
Right.
get your fits. If they can get their fits, I want to see them get their fits right. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In the run game, because that's vital. Because if you can't figure that out, and you can't figure out where your teammate's going to be, and if he's going to feed you right, then the defense is going to fall apart.
Yeah. You look at, what I would assume the starting linebackers would be come season is McCullough, Johnson, and then Joseph Osai.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
On the outside?
Yeah. And, we'll see what happens there. One thing I'm really excited to see is all the DBs.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about that.
Was it Stearns or Foster, one of them who went through concussion protocol? I know one of them took a hit to the head, so I'm not sure.
I think it was.
I know Stearns was out for the last part of the OU game.
This was spring practice. This was spring practice. One of them did. I can't remember.
I haven't seen Caden Stearns on the news that much, so it could be BJ.
Yeah, but regardless, the way that BJ Foster played in the Sugar Bowl, I've just been so excited to see him this year. Getting to step up. I'm not sure what kind of defensive formation Texas is going to go with BJ Foster, Caden Stearns, Brandon Jones, kind of three guys. I don't know if they'll be bringing BJ Foster up into the nickel position like they did a lot, which worked really well. Yeah, so I'd love to see BJ Foster. Obviously, it'll be a restrained BJ Foster. He's not going to be trying to take people's heads off, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe give him one.
We know he can.
Give him one good hit. One good hit.
Sam and BJ just go.
No.
Yeah, we go with that.
No, I know, but just in my that would be.
Save it for Jalen Hurts.
No one should touch Sam.
Nobody should touch that man. Yes. But in a I just want to go to a practice and with the knowledge that neither of them are going to get hurt. I want to see those two. If I had to pick one guy on either side, it would be those two guys.
Yeah.
I just want to see them go head to head.
Like in a theoretical world.
Yeah, in a theoretical world where we know that they're not going to get hurt.
Like comic books almost.
Exactly. I just want to see it.
Yeah, I think talking about some of the new guys also that are going to be fun. Obviously Brew McCoy.
Yeah.
What kind of what are we going to do with him, because it's he played cornerback. He also played wide receiver. I think he's going to be he'll be locked in that receiver spot. But they're going to try to work him in with some jet sweeps and stuff. Then obviously Whittington does everything.
Yeah.
So excited to see him, and then see how how Keontae Ingram has progressed. Kirk Johnson supposedly has looked really good.
Keontae Ingram supposedly has grown as much as Sam grew last year.
Oh my gosh,
that's
terrifying.
That
was my only thing against Keontae Ingram is you had Trey Watson, who could do the ground and pound, just wear the defense down, and that's why Keontae Ingram was so effective.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with the way the Texas coaching staff managed him last year.
Yeah.
Because you see Keontae Ingram averaging 6 yards a carry, and you're tempted to put him in every down.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that because the reason he got 6 yards a carry is because the defense was tired because of Trey Watson pounding the ball.
Yeah.
But if Keontae Ingram can do that too, that's scary.
Yeah. I think I can't exactly remember what it was, but he was wanting to lose 30 or something pounds of fat and then put on 20 pounds of muscle, something crazy. And the way that the offseason training has been, I'm sure he's if he wanted to do that,
he probably did.
They're gonna do and he wanted to get faster. He's already fast, but every time it feels but you watch him run, he always feels like he's a shoelace tackle away from just breaking away. He never really had a huge run because he's always hole and then gets caught up.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit more speed.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And he's gone. Yeah. So I'm excited to see him and see how much he's improved.
I think it's important to observe the offensive line too.
Yep.
You lost a bunch of guys up front, and I think during the last scrimmage, Tom Herman was not happy with the 2-0 line. Now, obviously, the 2-0 lines, it's not like they're the starting O lineman, but that's the depth that the offensive line has to go with. It's the most important part of the team almost, and then especially with the O line, with that much terror every single season.
Yeah, no, it's a guarantee in the season pretty much that you're going to lose a guy on the offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's unheard of if you don't lose at least one guy on the offensive line.
Your 2 OL has to be huge, but it has to be just as good as your 1 O line.
And one of the things last year was they had to use the same O line for both sides of the ball, for both teams during the spring game.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have enough depth, and this year if the 2-0 line has to step up either now or during the summer, or else Sam Ellinger will have to scramble a lot.
Yeah, and that's not what you want.
That's not what you want.
Like you like it whenever if something does collapse and he scrambles, but you don't want that.
Right.
Like that's the last thing you want.
Yep.
Luckily for Texas, it ends up usually being an okay thing, but that's not the goal.
Like you don't want that. No.
But
yeah, it'll be really interesting to see kind of who I mean, obviously Samuel Cosme had an incredible season.
Yeah, he really did.
Last year as a freshman. Shackelford's coming back. I don't exactly know who else. If you get Okafor playing much, Engelou, but then there's the I'm blanking on his name, the Georgia Tech transfer, who I don't think is with the team yet.
No,
but was first team All ACC last year.
And Georgia Tech, they run option style.
They do
run the ball a lot, and so if he's that good on that team, then he's going to be a good run blocker for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that'll be good to watch. And you just scroll down the list. Obviously, a lot more depth there this year.
There's 15 people on the roster right now.
Yeah, which is great because in the past there hasn't been that, and it's been like if one guy gets injured, that you're playing.
You're done.
Some freshman like walk on.
Yeah.
And that's been some of the struggles. Is it's kind of hard to be a quarterback when you got 3 defenders in your face 2 seconds after you snap the ball. Mm-hmm. All right, who's going next? Who's got?
Anybody want to go next?
What are we talking about next?
I'll go next.
All right, Daniel.
Okay, there we go. So
I'm excited about your topics.
So I only have one topic, but we can always add another one. But was it Wednesday? Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central. Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson called all ESPN and Fox and whoever the LA media was. And then they go like,
I'm offended he didn't call out us.
Yeah, why didn't they call us?
What the heck, Magic?
We could have just.
I thought we were cool, Magic.
Just pay for a plane ticket and we'll be there.
Man, we're down to Tampa.
And
we're down
to Tampa.
Oh yeah,
Texas football.
DTT. Yeah, sup, Del Conte. We'll get whatever recruits you want. Like, we know, we know there's a little. Actually, I think they're still paying us. So
we'll be your hands and feet.
Yes, we will attend to every of your needs. Still looking for sponsors. Try to get Reese's. Try to get Buffalo Wild Wings. We don't have an underwear sponsor. You always need that. But
Fruit of the Loom is
if any team wants to sponsor us too, we'll be One and No Sports, presented by the Lakers, presented by Texas Sports,
Austin Spurs,
presented by the Calgary Flames. Like I don't care who we're sponsored by.
Presented by Roma FC.
Roma FC. Shout out Mark Paints. All right, keep going, Daniel.
So Magic Johnson basically called an impromptu press conference. Like, see you later. Oh, by the way, I did not tell my boss. Oh, and by the way, LeBron James does not know. Oh, and by the way, Luke Walton might be fired. He's supposed to be fired. I was supposed to fire him tomorrow, but I'm not gonna be the one doing it. And whoever I'm gonna leave it up to my sister or whoever she employs as a president to fire Luke Walton because I don't like to affect other people's lives. So basically, the first question is who's at blame? Is it Magic Johnson? How much blame does he deserve? Is it Jeannie Buss? Is it the Lakers organization? Is it LeBron?
Wait,
or
for what?
For this whole this whole mess, right? Because
for their failure.
It's LeBron.
Yeah.
It's this whole mess, right? Because
you get into it. Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Turner's answer is LeBron.
Yeah, it's LeBron for sure. This guy is so toxic that he scares away the president of the team, not even just players. Kevin Durant's like, dude, I'll never play with LeBron because and I've said this many times, and if you have ever listened to anything I've ever been on that talks about LeBron, I've probably said this, but young guys like Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, when they're developing, they're going like this, they're developing, they're going this way, and as soon as LeBron gets there, it's slams on the brakes, pulls a U-turn, because whenever LeBron gets to a team, and you saw this even whenever he went to Miami, you saw it whenever he went to Cleveland the second time, and you're seeing it now in LA, it's, I'm the best player in the world, so you're going to do it my way. And his way is give him the ball, he handles the ball, he tries to drive and score, and if he doesn't, he kicks it out to somebody, and they shoot a 3-pointer.
And it's also what's so funny is he comes into the Lakers. He comes into the Lakers and go like, Lonzo, you can have the ball. Ingram, you can shoot. Kuzma, you can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna be the guy that's gonna play off the ball, and then when you need me, I can help you. And then that worked he tried that for 20 games, and then that didn't quite work. And he's like, you know what? Screw all of you. Screw all of your development. Screw the Lakers. I'm just gonna get the ball. I'm just gonna do it my way.
And he's so obsessed with the image he creates about himself, and you see this in like congratulating himself on Instagram. Even whenever he was honoring Michael Jordan, whenever he was passing him, he says like, "Thank you, Mike." And we talked about this, and then he puts the crown for the king after he says, "Thank you, Mike," and then a crown, right? And so everything is about him, and it's about him controlling the narrative about him, and he's just so obsessed with that. I think he just couldn't stand not being in control of the team, and he does it with personnel too, and that's when it gets really bad and tricky.
I think the interesting thing, and maybe a difference between LeBron and Jordan. Jordan was just incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
He had to win everything he does. He has to win everything he does. I was reading a story by Wright Thompson the other day where like they'd be on vacation in like the Bahamas, and he would have people go down to the lobby, buy crossword puzzles, come back up, and he would force them to race him.
Did you put 50,000 on it?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Oh yeah. But
he won like $500 playing Sudoku against someone.
I believe
like one of his friends.
I don't have that.
But versus LeBron is a control freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
And it's less about winning, it's more about control.
Yeah, I think he would rather lose with control than win without it.
Yeah.
Because what was it? Me and Turner were saying that too.
Yeah.
I said, what Jordan? I didn't say Jordan, but you brought up, and I want to say that.
Yeah.
So Jordan was like, I'll punch you in the mouth. I'm gonna push you to be a better player. We're both gonna hate each other on the court, or maybe even off the court. But we're gonna get it done.
Yeah,
we're gonna win.
Kobe kind of has more of that mindset than LeBron.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
like Kobe even was like a little bit of like a coach, and like Jordan was a little bit of a coach. I mean, they both had the same coach with Phil Jackson, so they were both like a little bit of a a leader, a team leader, where they were like not like maybe the best influence, but they were like, I'm gonna be the coach virtually. What LeBron wants to be is the GM.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, that can't work, because if you're a coach, like a player can be a coach. You've had Bill Russell. You can like support your guys because you're ultimately supporting your team as a coach. But when you're the general manager, you have to be able to trade these players away. You have to be able to cut these players, and you have to be able to do that without maintaining a relationship too close with these players. And so LeBron's trying to say, hey, I'm going to be your teammate. I'm going to let you confide in me. But also at the same time, I'm the general manager, and I will ship you off whenever I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so as a teammate, that's toxic, because you can't trust LeBron if you're in that situation. Because you can say, hey, LeBron, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I have enough in the tank. And then he's like, well, I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm thinking of who to trade.
Right?
Yeah. And that thing is just... It's the reason for all of his roster turnover, because he's like, I must win now.
Yeah.
I must win now.
You don't blame him because he has like a couple of years left.
It's worked so far, but he can't pull that with the Lakers. They were a job that you needed to let some guys develop.
They were.
Because what he could have done was basically what he did this year, is say, hey, we're gonna miss the playoffs, but we're gonna make a couple trades here and there, keep our core talent, and then try to get some veterans. Yeah. Instead, he was like, let me blow up the whole development side and still miss the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's what he. It's like he wants to be the GM, but he's a very bad and immature GM.
Yeah.
Because
he's a player.
Instead of making like thought out trades where this guy is a piece that we're missing, we need to trade like a pick and a bench player for this guy who might develop into what we need. He's like, no. At the very beginning of the season, I'm going to get all my friends and think it's going to be fun. And then whenever they suck and we can't win, I'm just going to trade everybody.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
Well, that's like the thing is a player can't be a GM also. Yeah. Because it's like not only for his teammates but for himself, because he has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because he's like, like a GM normally is like, well, I'm loyal to the city, I'm loyal to my boss, the owner, I'm loyal to the fact that I probably have like 5 years to figure this out. If you have a solid chance. But a player's like, I must win now.
Yeah.
I have to do this. So that's what I care about. Everyone else, you can get traded, whatever. I don't care because I have to win now.
Yeah.
That's why the Lakers move. It wasn't a.
Yeah.
It was a business move, and then he was like, "Oh, we can do business here and win if I'm the GM and I bring like all the veterans on the team."
Yeah.
But that obviously didn't work because the Lakers was going through this development process, which wasn't going well. But it wasn't like you have to decrop everything.
Yeah.
Because Ingram was developing, Kuzma was developing, Lonzo Ball was growing to a good player, and then probably in 2 or 3 years, if they can get, if they're Lakers, they can probably get a good veteran here and there. They can be good in 2 or 3 years. But LeBron coming in, you're like, you know what? I can try to play around with you, and if it's not gonna work, y'all are gone, and then we're just gonna bring Anthony Davis in.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. So, I'm not a LeBron fan, and I've always loved taking every excuse to trash on him. But I've just been reminded, like, in the last couple of days, like, you got to remember with athletes, and when this kind of stuff happens, there is way more stuff going on.
Yeah.
That we get one small narrative. We don't know the full story.
Except for Brian Windhorst.
Exactly. But and so I've been like reminded, like, okay, you got to take that into like consideration, that instead of just jumping to conclusions, there's always more stuff going on that meets the eye. But like LeBron, I think the thing about his attitude, especially after the All-Star break, you look at him, he goes to the Heat. Flashback, he goes to the Heat, and everybody hates him because he ditched Cleveland. He just went to play on this super team. Then he goes back, kind of starts to be more liked. I still hated him. But then all of a sudden, he's creating these schools, he's doing these scholarships, he's doing all these good things. It's like, you know what? I don't love what he's done. He beat the Spurs, so I kind of hate him for that. But like at the end of the day, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Then he goes to LA, and after the break, and again, it's just a couple clips, but him not trying on defense, him bouncing the ball over, and maybe that was just his mind went blank because I do stupid stuff sometimes. Like, I understand. I've done stuff, and I'm like, why did I do that? Maybe that was what happened, but you're the leader of the team.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Unprofessional, and I mean, that's what you look at a rookie doing that, and you're like, come on.
Yeah.
And he's a 15-year vet doing that. And I just feel like he's kind of tarnished his legacy.
Very much.
That he, in Cleveland, was really starting to build back. So...
I mean, same as Magic Johnson, right? Like, after this resignation, words came out like, oh, he wasn't really committed to the job, and he just kind of, like, trying to cruise through it, and maybe he took this job like, oh, I can come in and fix it, being, like, a part-time, president, but just never worked, and then try to trade the whole team, and just ended up being... and very underwhelming president. And then I mean, I didn't watch his talk shows, or I wasn't there when he was the coach. But from what I heard on like ESPN or Fox, that's his like. When by the third or the fourth time you failed at something, it's not because the job didn't suit you. It's that you didn't suit the job, and Magic Johnson being a great player, like the legacy of being a player. It will be there like for the rest of history. But like him being everything but a player, except the fact that he earned a lot of money, his legacy is definitely tarnished after this resignation because that was like the way he did it. Like he didn't even tell his boss, and then he just called a press conference and then didn't really dress up like he's supposed to be, and then just go like, I'm out, and the whole thing just feels improvised. He just decided on like in an instant, like, you know what, I'm gonna be out.
It kind of was odd because like this is like one of the heads of the Lakers, and he's just like cracking jokes like, haha, I'm gone. Y'all can let it rot in peace.
Yeah.
I've never really when I first watched that, I was like, oh yeah, like how funny this, he's just being funny, but it's like it's just kind of unprofessional.
I'll play a little devil's advocate.
Go for it.
I think, definitely. The fact that he didn't dress up for the press conference and stuff, that's what's unprofessional. I do think, however, it took a little bit of bravery from Magic to say, I am not good enough for this job. I have to resign. I would say the reason why...
I actually didn't hear him say that. That is
yeah.
mature.
I'm not sure if he said... That's basically what he was... I mean,
that was the point of it.
He basically said, I sucked. Like, I don't want to do this.
Because he was like, basically, like, the reports... basically confirmed where they were like, he hasn't been he was like, this was literally more work than I thought it was going to be,
Yeah.
which is refreshing to hear because it's like
It's fair.
I mean, you have people out there that aren't qualified for jobs and won't admit that it's a harder job than they thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, you know, you probably want to send a text to your boss that you're going to resign. He probably might not have wanted to call her just because, you know, she was going to try to throw everything. But I feel like that's one of the things you just kind of maybe have to put up with as your employer is going to try to tell you, hey, don't resign. We have a great thing going.
Like,
and you
send
have
an email or something.
You have to be you have to be committed enough to be able to say, I'm sorry, Jeannie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna resign.
Send an email or
Just send a
something.
GIF on GroupMe that says I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
and then
It's just
like-
like a press conference.
There are numerous ways where I mean like I'm not like I don't know like the executive circle how fast they respond to emails, but there are ways where you don't get a response within 20 seconds trying to say trying to keep you, you know.
I feel like you did a call from Magic Johnson. I feel like you took a
Probably gonna answer, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Magic Johnson.
Oh, Magic, yeah. What's up, Magic?
Like, wait, does the like, not, I don't want to sound weird, but like the butterfly feeling of getting a phone call from Magic Johnson, does that ever go away? Because he's still Magic Johnson.
I feel like it would.
Like, if you work with him
on a day-to-day
Okay,
basis, and
it
you're
would.
just like,
Yeah.
because if he's calling you to say like, hey, make sure to cancel my 2:30, then I would, at that point, the
At that
butterflies
point,
go
you'd
away.
be like,
Honestly,
"Eh,
I
If
think
not,
it
then-
depends on like what kind of a boss he is. Like I'm
That's
thinking
true.
back to the Michael Jordan. Like if you work with Michael Jordan, he calls you.
Oh, that's
You're-
butterflies.
That's
I'm
like more like
scared.
scared
Yeah, I'm
butterflies,
scared. Yeah,
not like
oh my
Michael.
gosh,
yeah.
But it is like that's whereas like if you work with a guy and all of a sudden he's very nice, he's very like just like down to earth.
Yeah.
I think you lose it. I think it
You lose
depends
that.
on. But if he's acting just
Yeah.
like, you know, oh I'm this great person, you know, like Michael Jordan, like I have to be in control and you mess up a little bit, you're like I think then yeah you do. I think it all depends on the person.
Oh, if I get a phone call from Aria Bustami, I'm gonna get butterflies.
Yeah, for real.
I will.
That's
I
just
don't
because
think
of his
that
cute
goes
face.
away.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to like the last question of this topic. The Lakers obviously is in a mess. The
Mhm.
Knicks are in a mess.
Yep.
The Celtics are in a bigger mess than we thought they would be at the beginning
Yeah.
of the season. And then you see stars not going to LA, New York, all the big markets, right? Not there are rumors that KD might want to go to Brooklyn more than New York, and that obviously the Nets are the
Brooklyn's a
second.
good team.
Yeah, that's why. And then there's, I
Brooklyn
mean,
is also
obviously
a big-
Brooklyn is a secondary brand than the Knicks, right? So, are we seeing a new era in the NBA where the brand of the team, like the Lakers, because in baseball people still want to play for the Yankees, for the Red Sox, for the Dodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the NBA, you know, stars rather Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and KD and Draymond Green rather stays in Golden State rather than play for this epic brand. Are we seeing a new era in the NBA now, or do you think that sooner or later this whole thing, like the whole brand thing, will come back again, or is it just like temporary, or this is a temporary thing?
I think it's permanent.
Mhm.
I think that players don't really need. I mean, I think it's more the league being top heavy now. I mean, if you're like the 15th guy on the bench, you'd probably want to play for the Lakers a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, coming out of college or high school, well now it's college. Coming out of wherever, Europe, and you go to a certain team, if that team's a right fit, there's no reason to leave because you're always on the road. It's now a thing where you can make a ton of money. You can become a star in a small market team, like Giannis. Like if you're a star if you're a star anywhere, you're gonna be a star, like in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that now, like you're gonna be on TV, you'll be on Twitter, you'll be on Reddit, you'll be on all
Right.
these places, and you don't need LA to have a bunch of people come out and watch.
Right.
And it's almost better too because you know, as a small market person, you know, they kind of love their teams more.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want the New York media to bash on you every day.
Yeah, like KD was OKC. Giannis
Yeah.
will probably, if he stays with the Bucks, become the Bucks.
Yeah,
become
I'm
Milwaukee.
very interested to see what happens to Giannis because Giannis seems personality-wise
Yeah.
to have the person like not desiring to like just flip teams and go around and chase money, but want to stay and be with the team for a long time.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see that, and it'll be interesting to see if he does that, if that makes people go back to the days of sticking with the team.
Yeah.
You know, because people these days grew up watching LeBron hot teams, watching, that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden we're seeing more guys stay where they're at, maybe, 10, 15 years from now, we're going to go back to, you get drafted and you try to develop a team. That's the Spurs in me, coming out.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree a little bit with the new era thing, because for me, whenever you're just sitting here thinking about it, well, one, like, Golden State is a top brand now. I know maybe a few years ago they weren't, but, like, from this point on, Golden State is on the level of, like, an LA or Boston or the Knicks.
I disagree with that. Like, if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, like, if this generation of the Warriors retire, why would you go to the Warriors?
Well, I mean, they're going to be in San Francisco. It's still,
I think
it's still a historic team. Like, it really is kind of under the radar historic team.
Right. But like, it's not.
Like, I see what you're saying, but I think, like, if the whole team was just to all leave, I think they're still a big brand. I don't think they're like forever, but I think they still have another like 5 years of being a big brand, even if they suck for the next 5 years.
It's kind of like the Patriots. Like, before the Belichick Brady era, the Patriots weren't a brand, but now they're a brand. Even if Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are gone, you're gonna want to go to the Patriots because it's a brand now. And I feel like the Golden State, especially if Golden State wins again this year, they've kind of created that. But then also, I think you still are seeing free agents, like people who get to pick where they're going, go to the big names. Because I mean, as of right now, other than the Bucks and the Raptors, like, and I guess the Nuggets, but the Nuggets, they've kind of drafted up. The Bucks drafted their people. I guess Toronto would be the only kind of exception where they kind of got people. Well, those were all trades.
Like acquisitions.
Yeah, those were all trades. But you see, like, people going to Boston. You see people going to Philly. You see people going to like LeBron going to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And so I think in terms of, like, people deciding where they're going, they're still going to. You see them going to bigger brands, and part of that is because they're good now. Like, you're seeing a lot of good, other than the Knicks. You're seeing a lot of good, like, brand teams being good.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I'm not sure if, like, I know what you're saying, and it makes sense because people are more prone to go to smaller markets.
Yeah.
But because people are choosing to go to where they're winning, they're still going to big markets for now. We'll see. I think you'll have to wait a little bit to see if it's a new era for sure.
Yeah.
But I know where you're going with it, but you still see people going to big
because
markets.
the biggest, like, right now, the problem with big names, like big brands with Lakers and the Knicks, they're banking on their brands to land free agents. But that's not
that
happening.
used to work, but now it doesn't.
Yeah,
In that respect, yes, I agree.
Yeah, and that is the biggest problem with the Knicks and the Lakers.
But I would say maybe not, but, like, why did LeBron go to the Lakers?
That's a business move.
It was a business move
because the brand.
Because the brand.
But it's very rare.
He said to Dwayne Wade, when they played for the last time, he said he was either here or the Garden.
That's a very rare thing, though. I think whenever we're talking about moving to big markets, that really only is the top players, and especially for LeBron.
Well, especially because the top players are the only ones who have that control.
Yeah, that kind of
When you're
power.
a small player, you don't control where you go.
And also LeBron is like, I'm going to go and have a movie career or a media career after this, so it makes sense to go to LA. He basically, with that move, was like, I'm never going to be as good as Jordan. People will never respect me as the GOAT, so I might as well just go, try to win a couple titles maybe, enjoy my last few years, and then...
He's not going to win a title.
Yeah.
And also, like, because his legacy...
He's basically like, I don't care.
His legacy is more or less established. And then he was just like, he just went like, I'm just going to go to LA, make some money, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to go to LA and build an actual team that's going to dominate for 3 or 4 years.
So that's, like, outside of what most guys are thinking of, because most guys are like, I'm going to try to go and win all these titles. But he's like, I've had a good run. Even if he were to win one more title, it wouldn't shift his legacy in a way that people would be like, this is the hugest. Like, now he's the greatest for sure.
Yeah.
He'd have to win, like, the rest of his years, like 5 more years, and it would have to be complete dominance in the West.
Yeah, and then there would still be people that are like, Jordan's better.
Yeah,
I would be one of those people.
No, I would not.
If he was to win like 5 straight, that would.
Yeah.
Yes, if you won 5 straight, I'd be like, okay.
Like if he just beats the Warriors every year.
Yeah. Well, if he's the star, like if you get some. Like,
that's true. If it's like him and AD and Durant and like Klay Thompson,
then
it's
I'd
like
be
okay.
That'd make even kind of less of an argument.
Yeah. That's
it
true.
kind of tarnished it a little bit. But
I mean, Jordan had Pippen. Jordan couldn't get out of the first round without
Jordan
Pippen.
made Pippen.
But he also
I
got
I want to say he could not get out of the first round without Scottie Pippen.
Well, that's because he's young in his career. Like
LeBron,
at the beginning of his
LeBron made
career.
the finals by the time he was 23.
So well, yeah.
LeBron lost like
that's
5.
But
Finals.
here's the thing: why should he be penalized for going to the finals?
Because he's
Because he had an easy road to the finals every year.
2007, he dragged that team to the finals.
Well,
through a fairly simple.
Okay, so
easy.
but even if you take that one away, he's still 4 finals losses, right?
I think so.
Yeah, if you take that
Might be more.
2007.
No, he has more losses than that.
He's
2-5.
He was 8. He went to 8 in a row and he had 1, so he has 9 total. So he's
3-6.
3-6.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's rough.
Horrible.
You have 3 wins
So he has
against 6
5
losses.
2 to the Warriors, right? Or is it 3 to the Warriors? 3 to the Warriors now.
3 to the Warriors, 1 to the
No,
Spurs.
no,
1 to the Spurs.
No,
2 to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Spurs.
2 to the Spurs
and 1 to the Mavericks.
We
Well,
talked.
yeah,
we talked about the.
so much
We'll
about
talk about that because that's one of my
your
topics.
section.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue. We've been
Yeah.
on it for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, and so me and Robert talked about this yesterday. Obviously, I hold Dirk in the highest.
Wait, real quick. Watching the Masters, there's a guy, Texas shirt, Texas hat.
Hook
Right
up.
for the brand.
Come ride the brand.
All right.
Uh,
Keep going.
So obviously, I hold Dirk in the highest of regards, just as a person, as a player, as an impact to a game.
Mhm.
And so I went to Dirk's last game in San Antonio with my little brother. We were both crying at the end, because like he's meant so much to the team and so much to the city.
Yep.
And I just wanted to get like a little bit of I already got you, and you can like go at the end a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to hear it from y'all too for sure. First, like, what is your team, and then what is your views on Dirk, just in general, and then if I have follow-up questions, I'll ask.
You want to start, Daniel?
You can start.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm a Spurs fan.
Okay.
Grew up in San Antonio.
So this is a very interesting perspective. I want to
Yeah,
hear.
I mean, I think I hold Dirk very similar to Tim.
Okay.
Because they kind of like, I mean, I guess with Tim Duncan, you kind of had David Robinson, who was kind of like, those two guys kind of revamped that franchise and took them to where they are now. And I think, but Dirk in a similar way is, you draft this guy. There's some questions about him. Is he that good? I think you get that a lot with the foreign guys. I mean, that happened with Manu, happened with Tony. And then he just plays for a while. The city falls in love with. I mean, the same way that I think it's a similar reaction when Tim and Manu retired to with Dirk, because it's like, this is a guy who's literally been there for 20 years.
21.
20. I mean, like, yeah, like been there like every like when Tim retired, when Manu retired, it was like I've never watched a Spurs game without them playing.
Yeah.
And so it's weird.
Yeah.
And so it's also like, okay, wait, it's just like a next step of life, which is weird. But yeah, I think Dirk's one of the greatest to play, and being a Spurs fan, I always hold people who have stayed with one team in a higher regard.
Yeah.
It's one reason why I always hated LeBron.
Yeah.
He played at 3 teams so far. Tim and Manu, Tony left, but that was Spurs have got
he's
weird.
allowed to.
But Tim and Manu, they stayed.
Yeah.
Tim almost left, but he didn't. Dirk stayed the whole time, and so I think because of that, I have another level of respect for him. And just the fact, like, I just love how he finished his last game, in Dallas, and his last ever game. That was a double last game, and 20-some points in his last game. Yeah.
30 points in his last home game.
Yeah.
Double in his last game.
That's just the perfect way to go
his
out.
career on a made fadeaway shot.
Yeah.
Perfect way. So I just want to ask you real quick. So I mentioned this earlier today. The love that you have for Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like it's you can't really think of a match for that, right?
Right.
But for Dallas fans, it's like, imagine you had Tim Duncan, but you didn't have Parker and Ginobili also.
Right.
So like,
you said Steve Nash.
as much as you love, we had Steve Nash for like 3 years, and he left.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you love Tim Duncan
Right.
with all your heart, but you also love these other guys.
Yeah.
But with Dirk,
It's just him.
full on every bit of ounce of love that you have for a player in your heart goes to him.
Yeah.
Because Jason Terry was his teammate who played the most games with him.
Yep.
And people love the Jet, but he's not near on the. He was never an All-Star.
Nope.
The teammate who played the second most games with him is Devin Harris. So it's like, it's all Dirk. And so,
Yeah.
what do you got about?
I'm gonna go plan 2 a little bit, if you don't mind. Okay, first of all,
Reading glasses on.
I basketball had never been like my major, like the number one sport. The reason I started watching was because of Jeremy Lin, and so I basically followed wherever Jeremy Lin went because I just I read about NBA through Taiwanese media, and so that's who they cover. And then when I got more into the NBA was when I started watching First Take and Undisputed a couple of years later. They never talked about Dirk. Yeah. They talked about Dirk when like they're trying to list the greatest players of that year, and Dirk will be like top 20.
Yeah.
So in terms of actually watching him play, I probably never watched a game where he played except for like the 2011 finals.
Mm-hmm.
But being the icon of international non-U.S. basketball player, being somebody that basically moved the NBA, the general managers and the analytics people towards Europe, and being somebody that basically was the best international player for 18 or 19 of 21 years in the NBA, you cannot ever diminish his impact on basketball in the U.S. and in Europe arguably than any other player in the world, because not only did he inspire the NBA to go to Europe, he inspired millions of Europeans who can't play soccer because they're too tall to pursue in basketball.
Yeah.
And that's how you got Luka Doncic. That's why you got Kristaps Porzingis, and he also revolutionized game plan in the NBA, where you have post players that can stretch the floor and shoot good enough to shoot like 40% from mid range, and can shoot pretty well beyond 3-point line. Yeah. And that is what brought European basketball to the NBA, and that is what's revolutionizing the NBA. That they want post players that can shoot, not just dunk the ball, not Dwight. Like he had a much bigger impact on Dwight Howard's career than anybody would give him credit for.
Yep.
And that's including as a little bit as Anthony Davis and Giannis. He revolutionized the 4 and 5 more than anybody.
Yeah.
Arguably in NBA history, and also the scope of the NBA globally, especially in Europe, you cannot diminish his impact. And that is, Steph Curry revolutionized the sport, but Dirk Nowitzki started it, and then Steph Curry took the torch. And then moved everything beyond the three-point arc.
So he got the ball rolling, and then Steph carried it away. And I mean, as a Mavs fan and as a Dirk fan, I will put it's Duncan and Dirk back to back. Depending on the day, depending on how biased I feel that day, I'll put Dirk ahead of Duncan. But realistically, Duncan's probably number 1, Dirk's number 2. Okay, get out of here. Get out of here with your finger count. But I mean, I don't want to get you all riled up over there, but I think it's hard to argue that Dirk changed the game more than Duncan did, while Duncan was the better player and a more solid old school player.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Dirk changed the game
much
more.
I agree. Duncan played the style of basketball that is no longer played anymore.
Yes.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
I mean, even
he was great at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was just like you teach somebody how to play basketball, and they just get so good at it.
Yeah.
Every summer camp coach's dream.
Yeah.
Just right off the glass.
Use the glass. Use the glass.
Use the glass. Yeah.
I'm tired his middle school coach was the most influential person in his life. Because he played like that the rest of his career.
But also speaking of coaches, something that Duncan had was maybe the greatest, or at least a top 3 coach of all time in pop. Whereas Dirk's had.
Well, he had Don Nelson, and then he had Avery Avery Johnson.
Yeah. Right.
Carlisle. As a Mavericks fan, Carlisle is top 10 every year. Top 10 coach.
Great
in the
coach.
NBA. But
Pop, and just having Pop.
That's
from start to finish.
From start to finish, and it's Pop.
It's Pop. Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to get y'all's. Do you want to chime in anything?
I mean, y'all hit the nail on the head there. I think he's had the most impact of any player since Jordan. I don't even think LeBron has affected the game as much
Kobe.
as Dirk. Maybe Kobe a little bit.
Maybe Kobe.
I guess
Jeremy Lin.
Kobe invented trying hard, and that's always one thing that I always bring up. Is I don't get Mamba mentality. I really don't. I really don't get Mamba mentality, and I want to talk about this because this is a real beef that I have. Is that people are always like, oh, like Kobe will say something like, oh man, we're gonna try real, like, you know, you'll see like something on Instagram or you'll see like something that he did in his last few years where he's like, they're like, that's just the Mamba mentality, and I'm like, no, that's because Kobe is really good. Other people put in just as much time. It was just his brand. The Mamba mentality is a brand. So like that's always the thing with like, oh, like he invented training for hours on end every day. I was like, oh yeah, you know, players before that they just showed up.
They sat home.
Yeah, they just sat
potato
home.
chips on the
couch.
couch.
But Kobe though, ooh, he put in 5 hours a day.
He actually lifted weights.
He lifted weights. He shot in the gym. He made clutch threes.
That's a good point.
Whoa.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, because I'm like, Mamba mentality. Other players.
Like,
he's
unless
just
you're
good at it,
spending
yeah.
like 20 hours a
Yeah.
day, then okay, yeah, like that's
that's Mamba mentality.
yeah. But I mean, if you're an NBA player,
Yeah.
that's your job. There are
Yeah.
people train for most of the day if you're
Yeah.
an NBA player. Probably.
Which I get, it's a brand. I'm not like gonna sit here and be like, Kobe, like that's so messed up that tarnishes his legacy or anything. Like, it's dope.
Yeah.
I like Mamba mentality. It's cool, but it's like people take it too far on Twitter.
I
It's
think
offensive.
yeah. I think this is kind of going off that. I just think it's interesting the way that like working out and like all of that has changed in sports.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because like prior to the 80s, really prior to like 90s and 2000s, it was just kind of like, you know, you just like lift big stuff
Yeah.
and you sprint and you don't drink water.
Yeah.
You know,
Water's for the weak.
exactly.
Right.
And then we started, especially the 90s, the 2000s, the steroid era. It was all about like, you know, now we're starting to get science into what working out, and it's just grind.
Yeah.
And now it's all about recovery.
Yeah.
That's the big
That's
thing
the
now.
key to
If you can recover, that's
You
the
spend as
difference.
much time on recovery as you do working out.
Because apart from a few people, everybody's on the same level athletically now.
Yeah.
And so now it's just how fast can you get to the point where you can do it again?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Just a little side note, but I
Yeah,
just
no,
think
well,
it's
I-
interesting
I
kind of
think-
tracking
I think
that.
that's worth talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like people before that. I mean, what, like you would do a regimen, but your regimen was like just work out,
Yep.
like go outside, lift something, and run until you're tired, and then you go in. But
And that's why
not
so many
the
of
same.
those old guys
you
are
do it
all
again.
like,
Yeah.
you know, addicted to pain pills because they have
Yeah.
everything hurts.
They never
Yeah.
let their body recover.
No.
And that's not acceptable anymore. And
No.
now it's like you wake up 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
shake, because now it's all like programmed. And I'm like,
Yep.
that's affected all of society too. Because I mean, you get to the point
TB12
where, like,
method.
even, like I like track my calories and like go to the gym with like
Yeah.
a regimen. where
Mamba
it's, like,
mentality.
Yeah, Mamba
There you go.
mentality. Mamba mentality. I got the jersey out. You know, watch out for I Am Basketball next year. But yeah, it's like crazy to see like you wake up, protein shake, go to the gym, lift,
Right.
run 2 miles, rest. It's like ice bath,
Mm-hmm.
exercise again. Then the next day it's like recover. That's
Yeah.
like it. And they like have their diets completely planned out now.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have the resources.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no excuse as an NBA player to not be the
Good.
best you can
Yeah.
Yeah.
to hit your potential unless you get injured.
Yeah. All right. You want to get to your questions,
Yeah.
or you got anything else, Turner?
Well,
Yeah, you go.
I'll skip it. I'll skip
No,
NHL
go ahead,
play.
go
No,
ahead.
we don't want to talk about it. That we can.
Oh
come
no,
back.
I want to. Okay.
No, let's talk-
Yeah.
let's
You do want to talk about hockey?
I just want to talk about. I think one of the questions was like, do you watch it or like?
Yeah,
do you-
that was my main because I didn't want to
Yeah.
get into the like
Yeah.
the technicalities of
yeah, 'cause
hockey,
I don't watch.
I know y'all aren't hockey guys.
Well, so
but
here-
do you watch in? Because for me, the reason I got into hockey is because I was working for my dad over the summer one time, and I got to the shop late, and I had to wait for him to get off work and like because we rode down together and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm sitting in the office, and I got nothing to do, and I turn on the Stanley Cup Finals. And it's the year the game the LA Kings won the Stanley Cup
Okay.
final, and I was watching and I was like, wow, this is cool. So then like the next year I watched a little bit of the playoffs. The next year the Stars were in the playoffs, and that's where I got into it.
Yeah.
Is because the playoffs, and now I can't get enough of hockey. I watch it all the time, and especially during the playoffs. So do you guys watch? So wait, I'm sorry, I missed my point there. The NHL playoffs for me is unmatched.
Yeah.
Like October baseball is great. NFL playoffs are great. NBA playoffs are great. But for me, nothing matches NHL playoffs. And
So
the intensity.
here's what I'll say. Me watching like the playoffs for NHL is like a magnet. If I turn it on, I am locked in and watching it.
Yeah.
But it's all like half the time I'm like, oh yeah, that's going on.
Okay.
Because like I'm a Preds fan.
Oh.
Because
way.
I'm from Nashville and like
All
they
right.
started being good a couple years ago and I was like, oh, I'll watch them. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. But like I'll give you playoff hockey is incredible. It's electrifying.
Yeah.
The game changes so quick. Everything's moving
Every
so quickly.
minute is so important.
Yeah.
And so intense.
I think the thing that I don't have is I don't quite like. It's not like the NFL where like I know every team and like I kind of like will root for different teams, root against different teams, and like invested. So I don't quite have that yet, but I do agree. There's something special that you just turn it on and you just want to watch it more. Sometimes I just don't turn it on because I'm like I forget that's happening. But if I remember and I turn it on, I'm in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I watched the Stanley Cup finals a couple years back. Couldn't tell you who played, but yeah, I watched games 1, 2, 4, whatever. Like I watched the last one, whoever won that, and it was like you turn it on, and I was like, this is something different.
Yeah.
I was like, this like the entire atmosphere of the crowd was crazy. Just the players, something was moving. Like I felt like if I got up to go to the bathroom, that I would miss a crucial goal.
Yeah.
Or even not even a goal, just like something big would happen.
Yeah, and
because
like
any given
something.
moment.
Yeah, in a span of 2 minutes, nothing can change on the scoreboard, but so much can change in the game.
Yeah. Or even in the scoreboard, like what was that one? Like I always see that in greatest sports highlights on YouTube. Is what was it? The one of the Bruins where they were down.
Yeah, they come back
3-1
like
and they-
three.
yeah.
By 3-goal comeback in like a
Yeah,
minute.
you can
Like,
come
that's
back. It's
insane.
crazy how quick you can come back.
And it's so fun, like because regular season. I've never watched a regular season hockey game.
Yeah.
But I mean the playoffs. It just I do wish like what Thomas said, like I knew more, so that way I would like in my head have like kind of like NHL memes where I like certain teams, dislike others. Because to me it's like more of an AAF feel. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, oh yeah, I mean the Commanders are cool. Like,
Yeah.
The Calgary Flames are cool.
Yeah.
Let's watch this one. But like I feel like if I put the time in, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put the time in for the playoffs.
Hey.
Watch.
You got the Preds Stars
After the match.
tonight.
Tonight, Fred's coming back. They're taking
Wait,
game
wait,
two.
what's today? Friday? No,
It is Friday.
I think
it's tomorrow?
Well, they have
Sorry.
a 3-day break in between games.
Yeah, I don't know why.
In the first round,
That's not how you.
It doesn't.
grow
I
your
don't.
brand.
And
Maybe that's
they
what
didn't.
makes it
They
exciting.
didn't leave either. That's
I
what-
know. I get them travel, but
Yeah, that
Okay.
it was. Yeah, that really upset me. I was like, what the
well,
heck?
maybe I'll watch the third period after the Ludacris concert on,
Oh,
on
yeah.
Saturday.
Actually,
So let's
I
see, we
can't
got
make a
Lightning,
judgment on
Blue
that game. I'm not
Jackets,
ludicrous.
Pens, Islanders,
Luda,
Golden
if
Knights,
you were
Sharks,
watching,
Blues and Jets.
Yeah, Luda.
Luda, if you were watching,
Luda.
can you please get One to Know Sports backstage access?
Yep.
And then
Maybe
sponsor
retweet.
us.
Sponsor. We're looking for a rapper sponsor. One of the
Yeah.
sports presented
Whoa.
by Ludacris.
Wait, whoa,
Whoa,
okay.
whoa, whoa,
We
whoa,
haven't-
whoa, whoa.
We haven't secured, are you?
Oh,
I thought we had him locked down.
Yeah, I thought we had him on lockdown.
Well,
We're gonna need
he's not giving me money.
Oh, okay.
Aria-
okay.
He
Aria-
doesn't
He endorses us. He
He
endorses
He endorses us.
But he's
He's
not a
like
sponsor.
the recurring guest.
That's true.
Okay.
He's not a
Aria's
sponsor.
the face of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just looking for someone to pay us.
That's true.
We need that Fast and Furious money, Luda.
Yeah.
We need that.
I would. Hey, we'll have Coronas sitting
yeah.
all over here.
We'll do whatever, dude.
How old are you?
Not enough for.
I didn't say
Hey.
I'm 20. I'm just saying we'll just put it up there.
Yeah.
We'll have the Corona out. We'll have the Lime in. We'll put we'll have all the Fast and Furious movies leading on them. We will ride for that brand.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Right for the brand.
And then obviously whenever Aria's in, Mission Impossible 6 and 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get him in.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
excited to see where Mission Impossible is going to go next.
It's
I
such
love
a
Mission
dovetail, but I love it.
I love
Fallout?
Mission Impossible.
Because
it
oh,
was so good.
I haven't seen the
incredible.
last one. I haven't
One of
seen
the
it.
greatest
It was
movies of all time. I won't
really
spoil it.
robbed of an Oscar.
Don't
It was
don't
incredible.
spoil it.
Oh, yeah.
But I love
I
Mission
just-
Impossible 3.
Oh, you
Oh,
have to
MI3
see
is incredible.
Oh, you have to.
But-
see it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Like,
go
as
home and
soon as
watch it.
possible.
I'm gonna
You
go home
have
and watch
Go
it.
home and watch it.
It's
But
one of the greatest action
yeah.
movies of all
Oh,
time.
really? Without a doubt.
No.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
And
I love
especially
Mission
if you
Impossible.
love kind of cheesy, like
Yes.
predictable.
Yeah.
Face Off is one of my favorite.
Yeah,
movies.
yeah, you're gonna love this.
Yeah,
You're gonna
it's
love this.
Like you
Bro.
know, like it's like
Yo.
that new thing with like John Wick, where it's like it's nothing more than what it says it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just action.
It's
It's
just
just action, and it's
the-
Tom Cruise, and
for-
it's hanging off
yeah.
cliffs, and
Does
it's
he run? Does
Oh,
have
he
the perfect
he runs. The
running
knees
form?
are up, and the arms are
running
up.
form.
You have Tom Cruise, you have Henry Cavill, you have
Oh, man.
Vanessa Kirby as the female.
Oh,
Okay,
I will
Yeah.
say, like, as predictable as I say it is, you have no idea what
That's
side
true.
anybody's
That's
on the whole
true.
movie.
Oh, yes,
You
I'm
gotta
so
watch
excited.
it. You gotta watch it.
In like you're
To
gonna
One to Know
have-
Sports presented by Mission Impossible.
Like you know the like certain points you're gonna hit.
Check
in
it out in
certain
theaters
scenes,
today.
But what happens in those scenes, you have no idea.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
incredible.
I'm
And
so
the
excited.
ending. Oh man.
Okay,
I want to go home and watch it now when the
I know,
Masters
me
are
too.
on. But it is going to be interesting because it's like Tom Cruise at this point is like 70. Still looks like he's like 43, but
Yeah.
70
He's
wears.
50. He's legitimately 50.
Oh, he's
years old.
50. Oh, that's not bad.
But
I
he's-
thought- I actually thought he was
I mean,
old.
we only have
He's
10
getting
minutes. Daniel, do you watch the
Very
NHL
quickly,
playoffs?
no.
Okay.
The last hockey related thing I watched was Miracle on Ice.
Okay.
And
It's a good movie.
The reason why I don't watch NHL is because I can't follow the puck. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two,
That is very
soccer
fair.
is too close to hockey for me, and then I watch soccer.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah.
That's fair. And one more thing for those of you who are going to go check out hockey, the last 2 minutes of a hockey game are the best 2 minutes in sports.
That's
when one team pulls their
I'll
goalie
agree.
and
I'll
completely sells out.
when they
get
pull
extra-
the goalie.
When you pull a goalie, that 2 minutes is the most exciting minute. The 2 minutes in sports,
Without a doubt.
because you're completely selling out. If you
Yeah.
mess up, it's over for you. But you have an extra man advantage, and you can tie up the game.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
we
Go.
have
By the
10
way,
minutes
your
for
boy,
you.
your boy Molinari has a 2-stroke lead right now.
2 strokes. Yeah.
Through
I saw he
16.
birdied 15. Wait, he birdied 16 too?
Pard 16.
Oh, okay. So
he's 7 under.
Someone else must have bogeyed. He's 7?
He's 7.
Because he bogeyed 15, right? All right. Let's get in. I'm gonna cut one of them because I didn't really like one of my points anyway. But we're gonna do some NBA playoffs.
Okay.
Let's
That's
talk
right.
that.
Let's
Yeah,
do that.
with NHL, but NBA.
The real
Let's go through-
playoffs.
Let's go through a quick.
Hey,
Just kidding, I'm
no,
just
but
kidding,
seriously,
I'm
like
just
this is one of my favorite times of the year.
Yeah.
Because you get NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs.
And the Masters.
And the
And
Masters.
right after March Madness.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great time.
And the start of MLB. I mean,
No, yeah,
No,
definitely.
no.
Like because I
Yeah,
agree because
boo.
you'll have day games where
Yeah, where you can
because
watch
when for
some-
people like me who all you do is watch sports.
Yeah.
The
You need
beginning,
something to fill
you
time.
need something during the day to get you to the.
Just watch Undisputed.
I watch
Skip.
Skip.
Come
Alright,
Skip.
Let's go through real quick just some matchups in the West, and then we'll
For-
pick your winner.
Okay.
So, Golden State versus the Clippers. We're all
Clippers.
in agreement.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement.
Hey, Montrezl Harrell is gonna go toe to toe.
Yeah.
I think
Boogie.
I think that's a 6-game series.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers take them a little deeper.
I think that's a
5 or 6.
I think
It's not a sweep
I
though.
think that's a 4-game series.
We'll see.
I think because of the way the Warriors have kind of slept walk through the series,
Yeah.
or the season,
You think
I
one
think the
game?
Clippers will steal one game,
Yeah.
but then that'll wake them up, and then the Warriors are gonna
Yeah.
dominate.
Okay, so Houston, Utah. That could be one of the good ones. Great
That's
5-4
gonna be a
matchup.
good series.
A great 5-4 matchup.
That's gonna be
I
a
don't think
good
Utah
series.
has enough.
That's true.
They don't have enough firepower.
I think
I
James
think-
Harden is just rolling too much.
I think
I think
Utah's
Rockets in
overrated.
7.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Oh,
7-2.
I'll say 6.
What did you say?
I think Utah's a little overrated.
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
but
But Houston has struggled in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the
because
thing.
because
27.
James Harden's game's built on getting fouls, and they don't get fouls in
Yeah.
the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
So that is a 6 or 7 game series, but
Yeah.
I do think Utah's overrated.
Yeah.
All right. Portland, Oklahoma City.
Oh,
If you
Okay,
asked,
see.
if you
Okay.
asked me
Oh,
3
boy.
weeks ago, I say Portland. But
I'm all in.
or I don't know
Russell
how long
Westbrook.
ago Nurk got hurt, but
Yeah.
before
Dirk-
Nurk got hurt,
yeah.
I'd tell you Portland.
The Nurk injury, I think that I got the Thunder in
Yeah.
7. I think that one.
Thunder
goes
in
the distance.
6.
Okay.
Thunder in 6.
Yeah, okay.
You think it's a sweep now? Or
Wait,
5
no, he
games?
said 6.
6.
He said 6.
Oh, now.
Oh, right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, I thought you were talking about before the Nurk injury.
Oh no, I'm
no.
talking about now. Now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Thunder in
OKC
6.
I say still Thunder in 7. I think the Blazers are gonna literally put everything they have.
Yeah, I think the Blazers are a lot
Kill
better
them.
than people give credit for.
Yeah, I think it'll literally kill them if they happen.
But
to
the
beat
Thunder are playing real good right
Yeah,
now.
they
Yeah.
are, but
Yeah.
and understandably so with Portland because Portland, for the past 5 years, everybody thinks, oh, they're going to do something this year,
Yeah,
and then they don't, and oh, they're going to do something
Yeah.
this year, and then they don't.
it's been that way since the.
And
90s.
I
Yeah.
fall into it every year.
Yeah.
And ever since, I mean, Damian Lillard's one of my favorite players in the NBA, and so ever since he hit that shot over Houston, I was like, I can pull for this team.
Yeah.
And so every year I'm like, oh, they're going to do something this year. And then they
Yeah. All right, Nuggets and Spurs.
don't.
A 2-7 deal. Because me and Turner have talked about this. Do you believe in the Nuggets? Do you believe that they could go?
Nuggets and 6.
No. But they keep winning. Like, what's up with it?
Yeah.
Nuggets and
Who do they have?
Yeah.
Well,
Jokic?
I tell you, no, it's
Who else?
It's a
Who?
They have a three
It's a
big
perfect
man
roster.
thing. It's what
Yeah,
they do.
it's like a-
They have Nurk,
Like-
or not Nurk.
Who else do they have? Like a legitimately? Do they have like?
Jokic, Plumlee, and
It's been one of the most
what's his name?
crazy runs I've ever seen.
Mounier, is he
No,
good?
Moutier?
Is he still there?
Moutier is good.
Manuel Moutier.
What's his name? Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
The combination of Millsap, the Joker, and
The Joker.
no, that's
Like, I legitimately, I have not watched one Nuggets game
No,
this season.
I'm telling you, that's what it
On
is.
TV.
That's
They
what
haven't
it
been on
is.
TV.
I
It's
think
because they don't play fun basketball,
Yeah.
but they play winning basketball.
I think they either like
Well,
win
that
it all, or
sounds
they
like the
lose.
Spurs.
They either win it all, or they lose like the first 2 rounds.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
There's
they'll
no
beat
margin.
the Spurs.
I
and
think-
then
I
lose
think
in
I
the
think
second
that Denver Thunder series.
round. That'll be fun.
Oh wow.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
gonna be must.
OKC
Yeah.
in 5.
OKC in 5.
In that series,
In that
against
series?
Denver,
Wow. I'm taking the Nuggets in 7.
Yeah.
I think Nuggets at 5.
Especially,
Ooh,
you have to think
Yeah. You believe?
Nuggets are.
But
gonna
again,
have,
either that or the Spurs win.
Yeah.
Nuggets are going to
Oh.
have home court advantage, unless they're playing the Warriors, and that's in Denver.
Actually, you're right. Okay, yeah. So,
so like, a team
I
like
think
Houston would struggle in Denver.
I actually think Nuggets in 7 because the Spurs. I think it's the home team wins all the games in those series.
I agree.
The Spurs have struggled on the road. If the Spurs get one road game in the series, the Spurs win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
All right, let's go to the East.
Yep.
Milwaukee versus Detroit.
Detroit in 8.
Bucks.
Jeez, Daniel, I'm never
I'm-
asking
I'm
you
riding-
that
I'm-
ever again.
I'm riding with the Bucks this
I'm gonna be
playoffs.
like, so you got UMBC or Virginia? He's like UMBC by 20.
Like, yeah, okay, Daniel.
Okay, Daniel.
Like Virginia would ever lose to a 16 seed, but I guess I can't say anything anymore. Boston versus Indiana, the 4-5 matchup.
Boston.
Oladipo, he's out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think without Depot,
Boston is 6.
I think Boston in 6. I think the Pacers take it deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, without Depot, I
I
don't
think Boston
Yeah.
figure it out in that series.
I
Yeah.
agree. And I think that series might be what gets them together to play.
If they don't
Yeah.
figure it out that series, you're gonna get knocked out.
Oh,
second round.
Spieth almost hold it.
So
I agree.
Boston, Milwaukee.
Wait, what?
Boston, Milwaukee?
Theoretically, like.
Oh,
'cause
Boston.
everyone-
Milwaukee
Milwaukee
I take
in 5.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee
Yeah.
in 5.
So
Yeah.
even if Boston can
Boston
get it
in
going
7.
with the Pacers.
If Boston, okay,
Boston in 7.
if Boston
Yeah.
can figure, it's all about. Honestly, the Eastern Conference playoffs is all about
Yeah.
can Boston figure it out and play together. If they can, I don't think anybody really has a chance. If they can't, then it's
So
anybody's game.
yeah. So do you think Boston? All right, let's keep going. 76ers versus the Nets.
76ers.
Yeah.
Sixers
They
in
have
5.
too much. They have
Sixers
too
and
much.
five.
Too much.
And I think this is kind of their time. They're
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
The Nets.
This is all they have to be all in.
Nets
The
is
Nets will have
Sixers
their
2
time.
years ago.
They'll have a few. There, yeah,
Yeah.
exact. That's a really good comparison.
Yeah.
They'll have their time. They'll get there, just not yet.
Yeah.
All right,
Agreed.
and then the Raptors. I'm gonna go ahead
No,
and say
yeah, the Magic.
everyone believes
Yeah.
that the Raptors will beat the Magic.
Mo Bamba's
Hey,
gonna come back
Fournier-
from the
Mo
stress
Bamba-
Fournier is
fracture.
gonna carry the team.
Dunk on Kawhi, the
Yeah.
snake, the
No.
traitor.
Raptors in 5.
Yeah,
Raptors in 4.
Yeah, Raptors in 4.
I think
Yeah.
it's
I'm
a
saying-
sweep.
I'm
I
saying
think it's a
even-
sweep.
I'm saying even if Mo Bamba did all of that, like he came back from his injury and dunked right on him. And
Yeah,
he
no,
scored 50.
It's one of those.
yeah,
like,
Mo
Bamba
Bamba,
goes
no
up and
Bamba,
dunks on
it
Joel
doesn't
Embiid.
matter.
Yeah, Raptors 103.
Raptors 103,
Magic
Magic 82.
65.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're not from Texas, you're gonna choose Magic like in 4. I mean, no, you're gonna choose the Raptors in 4 no matter
I mean,
what.
I'm from
The
Texas,
fact that
I'm
we
just-
know
yeah.
Mo Bamba, we've seen
But
him for
Bamba's
years.
out.
Like,
He's
maybe
out,
he's
though.
out.
He's out.
He's
Yeah,
out,
he's
too.
stressed.
And
Yeah.
even whenever he was playing, he wasn't.
So
playing.
who's y'all's pick from the East? Because that's gonna be
Bucks.
super exciting. to
Raptors.
see.
Bucks 76ers in the Eastern Conference
If
Finals.
Celtics
Bucks
figure it
win.
out,
I'm
the
with
Celtics.
you on that.
That would be a fun
Celtics?
series, though.
If the Celtics figure it out,
But okay, but you got to make a prediction.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Bucks Nuggets.
Whoa!
And this
Hot
is just
take.
because
Woo!
I can't pick the bet like
Yeah.
I can't pick Raptors Warriors, even though I think that's an
Yeah.
incredible possible. Like I think that's very likely.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just literally just there. I thought.
Yeah.
Bucks Nuggets.
I'm gonna take Warriors Sixers in the finals.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm gonna go the Warriors.
Let's go. Tiger
in
Birdie hole
6.
4. He's the 3 under.
Warriors and Raptors, and Jeremy Lin takes the Raptors to a championship in
Yes.
Game 7.
Jeremy Lin's on the
Insanity.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tears in his eyes. Tears in his eyes. Says Jeremy Lin.
All right. While we're having some fun here,
Yeah.
let's go Thunder
Oh my gosh.
and I was gonna say Boston, but I really don't think they're gonna figure it out.
Thunder
Let's say-
Pacers.
Ooh.
Thunder.
Thunder
Thunder
Nets.
Nets. The two
Thunder
6
Nets.
seeds.
Thunder
Oh.
A 6-seed matchup in the NBA Finals. Thunder's net.
Who
locking
wins
it in.
that?
Oh,
Who wins that?
Thunder.
Thunder
Like,
for sure.
I
Thunder
don't
for
know.
sure.
I don't know.
2-minute warning. Dos minutos.
2
Do we
minutes.
go around and plug
Dos
our
minutos.
podcasts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
real
use
quick.
this whole thing as my show for this week.
There, yeah, I
Okay.
did. That's what I did with
Yeah,
our
yeah,
thing
yeah.
yesterday.
All right. You want to start with Robert?
All right. Yeah. So I'm Robert Trevino, Cold Coffee Podcast. You can find it anywhere podcasts are stored or sold, I guess, whatever. Follow me
They're free
at the
podcasts.
Not Hot Coffee and at RobTrev22, my personal Twitter.
Why should we listen to your podcast?
Yeah, tell us a little bit.
13 to 15 minute recap of some of the greatest moments in sports, all put together in a nice script with some audio in there. I got 2 great episodes coming out in the next week. We'll have 2 the week after that, trying to make up for a couple weeks of missed content. But we're going to have a lot coming out soon.
Nice. All right, I'm Turner Barnes. My podcast is called Casual Friday. It's the sports podcast that wants to be formal but likes to party. We have some fun. We always have guests. We always have games at the end. Just kind of talk about things, sports that are going on. Follow me at Turner Barnes 5 on Twitter. Follow 109 Sports on Twitter.
I'm Daniel. I'm the host of Rants with Danny Shih, an informal copycat of what Thomas Fitch is going to do. Thomas Fitch does. Basically, I talk about women's basketball if I can, but the season's over because nobody talks about them. So I was like, hey, there's a market there. I talk about baseball because that's my sport. I will try to talk about Taiwanese baseball or international baseball because that's coming up later this year. And just basically anything that I think is being undercovered. And also it's Rants with Danny Shih, and if you will listen to it...
He goes on rants.
If you listen to it like quite constantly, you'll know that this is Rants with Danny Shih, and if you... I don't plan that much, because if you're planning too much, it's not rants anymore.
I agree.
So, I plan my show 5 minutes before I start recording, except for interviews.
That's good. All right, I'll wrap it up. I'm Thomas Fitch, host of The Thomas Fitch Show. Founder, editor,
Our fearless leader
of Want to Know Sports. Thomas Fitch Show is on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube every Wednesday. Trying to kind of a focus on Texas sports, but we branch out to a lot of different stuff. Have a lot of different guests on. Had Arya Bastami on a couple weeks ago. We just talked about his new album. So it's a lot of different things. I like to have all sorts of different segments. Try to have fun and talk about sports. Kind of, if you listen to Pardon My Take, it's like that, just not as funny. But I do my
we
best.
had some laughs.
They're always laughs. They're always laughs. I think I laugh more than people laugh listening to it. I think the best way to experience the Thomas Fitch Show is coming on as a guest.
Yeah.
So if you're famous, Ludacris, Logic, yeah, anyone.
Vin
Jordan
Diesel.
C.
Vin Diesel.
Tiger Woods.
Let's get Vin Diesel on the
CDC.
Thomas Fitch Show.
Danny Williams.
Anyone.
Brooke
Hit me up. But guys, this has been fun.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Make sure y'all check out Want to Know Sports again.
Sports
Partnership.
Student Voices.
A partnership with TSTV. Yeah, support. And the links, there's somewhere. Support. There it is.
Support
Student Voices.
Help us.
Give money.
Help us
Give
do what we
money.
do. Help us do what we do.
Let's go.
We have a shotgun mic taped to a stand here with scotch tape. We
We
can't afford the duct tape. If you listened to us earlier, we can't even afford the duct tape. Okay?
All right. Have a good
Have a
one.
good one.
We're gonna walk off now.
Yeah. A nice little studio extra.
Everybody just walk off. Walk
Yeah,
off.
we
Walk
just-
off.
Want to know out?
We just exit. Leave your stuff. Leave your stuff. And then fade to black. Oh, right.
Yeah, they faded us to black earlier.
We're back.